24 hours a day as well. That number is 843-746-3909. As you prepare your homes for the impacts of Hurricane Dorian, we ask that you bring any items out, recycling bins, trash cans, any other type of items that could become flying debris in the wake of the hurricane. So we have a group with us here today to talk to you about the importance of preparing yourselves, your family, and if you haven't done so already, evacuating and listening to the governor's order as Hurricane Dorian makes its approach upon the South Carolina coastline. So I'd like to turn the press conference over at this time to Mr. Joe McEwen with Senator Tim Scott's office.
Senator Scott's on the phone right now with FEMA. He's been in daily contact with the White House, daily contact with the governor's office, daily contact with FEMA. FEMA is engaged and ready to go. Once this storm passes, they will trigger and they will get involved and they will take care of our constituents. As a coastal resident, the only thing I'll say about the storm itself is it's not a Category 5 anymore, it's a Category 2. But that means we're only dealing with 100-mile-per-hour winds rather than 185. This is a serious storm, and I will listen to the community leaders behind me. Thank you.
Chairman Summey.
Thanks, Joe. Yours and Tim's leadership is always very, very well appreciated here in Charleston County. We know you've personally both come through county council and been through these issues yourselves. Folks, we don't expect to have anything like they had in the Bahamas, but things are coming. Watch the news, watch the Weather Channel, see the pictures in Florida. Lots of rain, lots of flooding, lots of winds. We're going to expect those same things here. We expect to have a good bit of flooding here. Bottom line is that if your house floods normally, if you have a king tide issue or you flood when we have bad rain, you're going to flood again. So don't sit in that, or don't wait till the floodwaters come into your house and it makes it even harder to get you out. Our first responders, as you can see this team behind us, are the best in the country. We've been doing this, unfortunately, for a long time. But you're risking their lives just like you're risking your own. So if you feel unsafe or you know you're going to be unsafe, don't stay, especially folks on barrier islands. Isle of Palms, Sullivan's Island, Folly Beach, James and John's Island, Dewey's Island, Goat Island. Folks, move off the islands, be smart, and stay safe. And God bless you. And we'll now turn it over to Vice Chairman Chinnis. David?
Thank you, Elliot. Dorchester County remains at OpCon 1, fully activated. Pet-friendly shelter is opened at DeVos Middle School at 1005 DeVos School Road. Again, small domesticated animals, caged, bring what you need for the animals themselves. Sandbag operations in Dorchester County ended today at 3 p.m. There may still be sand available at those sites. You're welcome to go with your shovels. I know some of the local home goods stores still had sandbags for sale, so you can pick up some sandbags. There may still be sandbags left at those sites as well, but they're officially closed. Feel free to pick the sand up. County's going to pick it up after the storm if you don't. So Niceville Convenience Site is now closed. Appreciate everybody being very orderly. Got some nice reports from citizens that were able to go there today and get rid of some of the things that were in their yard. The other Dorchester County convenience sites are open, but they will close at 6 p.m. tonight, so you got just a few hours to get rid of whatever you have left. For the residents who did not evacuate, we ask you prepare to shelter in place. If you haven't done so already, secure anything in the yard that may fly around, and make sure that you've got food and water for 72 hours, because that first 72 hours is going to be on you. Once Dorchester County, the region begins to experience 39-mile-an-hour winds, we will cease to send out our first responders and put them in harm's way. So you will be kind of on your own at that point in time. Once those 39-mile-an-hour sustained winds subside, we'll be able to come back out again. But again, shelter in place. As Chairman Summey said, if you're in an area that floods, expect it to flood. Go to a shelter. You know, your stuff's going to be okay, and quite honestly, it's stuff. You can replace it. No need to risk your life over stuff. Let's see. I think the last comment I would make is I encourage Dorchester County residents and anybody close by to follow Dorchester County government on, and I always have to look at this, dorchestercountysc.gov/Dorian for updates. We keep that updated as much as possible. Check your county councilman's page. We try to make sure this information is out there. By all means, be safe. This storm is as unpredictable today as it was at 5 o'clock this morning. As I watched that eye collapse and those winds start shearing that sucker apart, I was kind of relieved. And then I watched the 2 o'clock story where it looks like it's now coming within 60 miles of Charleston. So, again, be safe. Thank you.
Mayor Summey.
We have handed out somewhere over 45,000 sandbags to our people to make sure that they're able to block their doors and what have you in low-lying areas. Yesterday and today, our staff has come together and we have hand-delivered to some of our seniors that we know are in flood zones roughly 3,000 sandbags. And it's been a team effort. We've been out and worked with these folks, encourage them if they know it's going to flood to please leave, but we're trying to make sure they're as safe as they can be. Yesterday we delivered to a 91-year-old lady who lives by herself, and she's not going anywhere. So we'll be riding through and checking on her and make sure that she is okay. Our folks have pulled together and worked very well together. I want to thank the county, and we're in all three counties, for the collaboration and everybody working together. That makes it so much better for all of us when we do that. I can tell you, and I've got to give a little shout out to a guy that works with me. Nobody works for me. We're a team that has been running our EOC, who's been battling cancer very badly in recent months. But he's a trooper. He's come in, he's guided us, he hasn't left the scene, and he's one of the great young men that works with us as a team. But we have to work together and pull together. And I couldn't be more proud of being a city that's in all three counties and seeing the relationships that have been established. Tim was a great part of that as we worked through. But if you stay tuned, listen to the news, listen to the advisories that we give you as leaders within the community, we're going to make you as safe as possible. And we just ask that you pray. I thought if we would take all of these political figures up here and go out to Folly Beach and blow out, it might help because there's a lot of hot air up here between all of us. But just keep everybody in mind. Check on those that you know that are in your community that need to be helped, especially your seniors. A lot of them are not going to leave no matter what. So just check on them and make sure that they're okay. And hang in, we're going to be fine. Bless you.
Sheriff Lewis.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to speak a few minutes about Berkeley County's preparedness. Right now, we have not opened any shelters. We will make a determination tomorrow as to any shelters that we deem necessary to open. Sandbags, we've delivered more than 49,000 sandbags so far. And right now we have inmates from the jail are assisting loading these sandbags for folks that cannot do it. We're at 3 locations right now in the city of Goose Creek, the city of Moncks Corner, and the city of Hanahan. At those locations, we have people assisting folks load those sandbags. Convenience centers, the landfill is open until 4:30 today, and our convenience centers are closed, and the landfill will be closed after 4:30. The Citizens Call Line for Berkeley County residents, 719-4800. We have folks on standby that are able to provide you with all the information that you may need. Our law enforcement front, the sheriff's office is ready. We've been ready. It's been a lot of hurry up and wait, unfortunately. But we have shifted our personnel around to where we're keeping folks back so that once the storm gets here, in whatever fashion it does get here, that we'll be ready. Our fire and EMS folks are staffed up and ready for any emergencies that may happen. Again, the sheriff's office is ready and we're prepared that whatever may come to us in Berkeley County. I just want to say to the citizens of Berkeley County, listen, we've been through this the last 3 or 4 years, and I think we got it down pretty good. We've reached out to all of our state partners, our local partners that you see here behind me. We are collaborating with all of our municipalities, and will continue to do that throughout the storm. Thank you.
Captain Reed.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the time and opportunity to talk about what the Coast Guard is doing here in the Lowcountry. Throughout the yesterday and today, our families are evacuating just like most of yours are. We've also evacuated our local stations and our own headquarters to a continuity of operations site in North Charleston. So we've left the downtown facility at Trad, and we're closing up shop in North Charleston as well and moving to the convention center. So thank you very much for providing us that ability to maintain operations. As I mentioned in 2 previous days, we are continuing to reposition assets. One, to preserve a response capability as soon after the storm as we can, and 2, to be able to respond elsewhere wherever they're needed. We have agency representatives in every one of the coastal counties, emergency operations centers in Georgia and South Carolina, and they'll be able to provide assistance as requested by either of those states. With regard to the port, Mayor Summey mentioned teamwork. There's no better example of teamwork than what we see from the South Carolina State Port Authority, the stevedores, the dock workers, and the pilots, both the harbor and the tug pilots. The team is working 5 cargo ships right now to bring critical manufacturing supplies into the region. The port is essentially closed to inbound traffic, and we will be seeing no more inbound going to Port Condition Yankee this evening. But we'll have all those ships out of here by midnight, and they'll be out well ahead of the storm. And I thank the team for making sure we take care of those people as they leave and have to clear the area. If any of you have had the opportunity to view marine traffic and get an idea of how those merchant ships and large ships move around, it's pretty interesting, and you'll see as it flows up here, our ships will clear the area as well. With regard to, I may not have an opportunity back here tomorrow, so with regard to distress, if after the storm there's a distress, we ask that you avoid using social media to tell us about distress. Rely heavily on 911. Get the rescuers where you need them, and to communicate your distress. If you have the ability, you can still use your Marine Band radio, VHF-FM, channel 16 as well. But with the number of social media platforms and the amount of traffic going across those, it's an unreliable means of communicating that distress to the Coast Guard or local emergency officials. And with that, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to Jason. Thank you very much.
Captain Antonio.
Captain Antonio, Charleston County Sheriff's Office. We have been operating on an increased manpower staffing. Today we are fully activating all our deputies. We will have all our deputies working in the field in close partnership with our local and state agencies to keep you safe. We will also have deputies up here in the EOC and also at our local shelters. We will be staging our assets at locations throughout the county, specifically our ATVs, our 4x4 vehicles, and our boats to where they're optimally available for our deputies if we need to deploy them. There are areas of Charleston County that are prone to flooding. Those are especially the outlying areas. The areas around Highway 17 and Allendale floods often, as well as around Adams Run and Parkers Ferry Road. Johns Island sees flooding often at River and Maybank, and we ask that you use common sense if you approach these areas. And if you choose to stay and you are not evacuating, please heed what these elected officials have been saying and these agency leaders. Do not do anything to put yourself in jeopardy, because you will, in effect, be putting our first responders in jeopardy. Thank you.
Lieutenant Bruder?
Thank you. Lieutenant Bruder, Charleston Police Department. Just to echo what several of the others have said, be aware we're working this as a significant flooding event that's likely going to start tomorrow, and hopefully we'll clear out by Thursday sometime. Thanks to our partners out there in law enforcement, Charleston County Sheriff's Office, Mount Pleasant, North Charleston Police Department, Berkeley County. I know we've been in contact most of the day and the last couple days coordinating all this stuff. From the city side of things, we do have, in addition to police and fire, our emergency management team's been operational for the last couple days, parks, public service, our stormwater people, and a big thank you to Charleston County Sheriff, School District and the Red Cross. They're helping us with housing our own personnel as we weather this storm together. We too have assets for swift water that will be available, but we're asking everybody to work this as a significant flood event. And if you're used to those low-lying areas, particularly downtown, and the areas we see them in West Ashley, James Island, Johns Island, to go ahead and consider that evacuation and make those preparations there. Our citizen helpline, 843-724-7311, if you have any questions. Thank you.
Jim Lake?
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Lake. I'm the director of the Charleston County 911 Center. The 911 staff have been preparing their homes and their families, and all staff will be reporting to work tomorrow morning to increase the staffing here at the 911 Center for the event.